Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Shemi Habashai, Shemakakadash. And I want to say Shalom to our Knockout out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's another impromptu lesson. I got the other three videos from yesterday. It kind of ended up just being a singular lesson. Something like that could happen today. Um, I'm not sure. I got them all up today. And, we might end up singling one out. We might not. We might end up getting through them all. It all just depends. It's all through the spirit power of Yahweh Shemi Shot, right? And I forgot to mention it yesterday, but I'm on the laptop. So the audio, of course, it doesn't have it's just a built-in mic, so it isn't going to sound as good as when I'm on the desktop, or not really even, not it even sounds better when I'm on the phone, really. But this gives me the full experience of being able to, do it in the room. Because the computer's out in an area where, it's kind of out in an area where it can flow into people's rooms. It's late, so when it's late, you would usually use the tablet or my phone, but now I'm going to use this because I get the full experience of like a computer, which I like to, get to the different things and all that stuff, and I get to use my same recording program and all that. So, it's lucky ahead of time for the audio. Not the greatest, but you can hear it. So. Um, yeah. So continuing on from yesterday's lesson, not really a continuation, but really what was originally going to be, these four topics. I got the remaining three topics, um, and this is one called. This is from meme videos, and like always, these usually are coming from popular Reddit. You go to like popular up here. You can do it on your phone, and you just basically just scroll, and some of it's stuff like this, right? People posting their cats. But some of it stuff like this. Trump threatens to deploy the U.S. military in Chicago, signaling the start of a nationwide crackdown. Right? So you have stuff like this. Um, you can go, you just see different things. Um, 248 legally deceased patients are in these DURs awaiting future revival. So, that's interesting. So, that cryogenic shit, right? They try, revive me in the future, right? Rich people just paying a bunch of money. And you just scroll through here and you see certain things that looks interesting or not interesting, right? Certain things you can make a lesson about, certain things you can't. Right? You just scroll and you just look, um, and you just keep going and looking, right? And eventually you'll find a bunch of stuff. So, you know, but yeah, man. And so these are some of the things I found. This one was particularly interesting. Really, the other three of these are remaining are basically just talking about the downfall of Babylon, right, and the end of the world. This one's called European Summer Romance, right, and Slovakia. I'm not gonna even play it because it's just music in the back, all right, and I don't want to play it on Sabbath because we're still, we're currently in the new moon Sabbath. Um, because yesterday from sundown last night to tonight sundown was the regular Sabbath, and then we had the new moon come in, at this sundown. So now it'll be ending tomorrow at sundown. So and the new Sabbath will be Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, right? So, but yeah, so I'm not gonna play the audio or anything like that. Just like I usually have my jazz going. I just have some ambience going. Uh, I can't just stand like just pure quiet. It drives me mad. Some people like pure quiet. I can't do it, especially when I'm speaking. And just all I can think about is how quiet it is. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play this. Americans losing all their allies. Talking about with Trump's really fucked America on allies, so-called allies. They've lost. They've been in the process of losing the UK for years. The UK can't stand America. They're getting to the point where they don't want to be associated. Germany probably don't want to be associated. Now that everybody's calling Americans fascists, right? They probably want to distance themselves, being once a fascist regime, and then you have Canada. How do you manage to piss off Canada, man? it's ridiculous. You've managed to piss off the people that don't really get involved in much. And this is so I'm gonna play the little video. So here you go. You know, but yeah. And you got people in here. It's just a fucking war zone in these comments talking about since when has Europe ever been closer than ever? What? When? Right? And also, Europe is getting ravaged by the migrant crisis. Right? They're always just constantly, um, no, no, it's not us. No, no, man, you guys are done. You're cooked, man. That's it. It's getting to the point where it's your ass, man. And there ain't nothing you can really do about it at the end of the day. It's like you, me. There ain't nothing you can really do about it at the end of the day because it's all part of the Lord's plan, man. This place is it's as George Carlin said, and Apostle the Heart talks about it a lot. America is circling the drain. Okay, circling the drain. Um, where are we? But yeah, America's circling the drain. George Carlin, in his younger days, was just random comedy. But as he got older, he became more involved in, political scandal type deal stuff talking about. And really, he was a more of a spokesperson, but the way he said it was funny. He really started calling out social norms or, uh, uh, not social, but society, same thing. Societal norms or weird things wrong with the world. He talked about the elites. He said it's one big club and you're not in it, right? And one of the other things he said was, America's circling the drain, and it is absolutely it's circling the drain, and there's nothing that you can do. All right, no matter patriotism can help it. It's got to go, man. So I have a scripture up in Revelation 17:16. Let's see if I can grab something else. Um, what else? You know, which one do I want to get first? I'll get to Revelation 17:16 first. So, America losing its allies is actually really prophetic because in the end days, America's not, America, aka Babylon, or Babylon, aka America, all right, is not going to have any allies. Everybody's going to turn against it. Okay, and people are already getting to that point. People have already, hated America for quite some time, talked shit about it. But with Trump in office and doing all the things he's done, he's pissing everybody off. All right, with all his shenanigans. Lucky, excuse me. But yeah, with all of his shenanigans, he's really starting to piss everybody off. Threatening to pull out funding in other countries, doing this, saying that. He's even, pissed Americans off to extreme by putting tariffs on goods, thinking that another country is going to pay him. These got these dumbass Americans thinking that a lot of these Trumpies, they think, oh, well, no, the other countries pay the tariffs. No, you pay the tariffs, you moron. You pay we pay the tariffs. All right? We, the people living in America, we pay the tariff. They don't pay it, okay? It's, when you import an item, all right, and you're charging $2 for that item because it cost you $1 to get, now all of a sudden that's costing you $4 to get, all right, because of tariffs that Trump put on goods coming in, taxed in, all right. It's not China that put the taxes on. Now other countries put tariffs on us as well because there's a big tariff war, but they so now you have this one product that you bought for $1, you're selling for two. Now it costs $3 to get it or $4 to get it. So now you have to sell it for six or seven. At the end of the day, the consumer's the one who's fucking paying the cost, right? None of these other people. So and they voted for it, and most of those motherfuckers are poor. All right. We need their goods to be taxed. We need more things made in America. Cool. Um, and there was a dumbass that was talking to me and said, "Well, Trump's doing that because he wants it to be everything to it's what did he say? It's incentivizing making things in America, right? Because it's going to be it's expensive. You got to drain the swamp, right? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. And it ain't nobody going to do it. All right. His hats are made in China still. Dummies. Anyway. But yeah, all the allies are eventually going to turn on America because of this dumb shit that they do. And the constant bragging and, here it is, they're allies, but America gets all the credit. All right, they're sick of that shit. Okay, they're sick of that shit always being uh thrown under the bus for America. Right? They don't like it. So Revelation 17:16, this is a future prophecy. It says in the 10 horns, and that we really got to get this. I want to read up. No, it's fine. But I want to get this because you got to understand what the 10 horns are. So yeah, I hate these fucking laptop keyboards. There we are. Try to find one that's actually full size. That ain't it. There we go. Paul, you how about me? I'm shot. So, to understand it, I'll go back to scripture. Revelation 17:16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, okay? The 10 horns, all right? The beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. Got 7 heads, all right? It's got 10 horns, okay? I guess that's all it zooms in. But the 7 heads, all right, are the seven Edomite governments. All right, you got Germania Major, the Romans, the French, the Spanish, Germania Minor, the British, and the Greeks. Right, and then who do you have sitting right on top of them? Right, America. Right, Revelation 17:1, the great whore. Okay, the great whore, and we're in Revelation 17 right now talking about this. So this is the beast that's being spoken of. Okay, and it's something that again, it takes a while to understand it. All right, to get because there's a lot of scriptures, and it's not something you're just gonna see it. And I mean, really, you should be able to do that. All right, it should be once you read the scriptures and get the context, you should be able to make that connection. Ooh, blocky, but you should be able to make that connection. But sometimes you need to, get the facts and get a deeper understanding about it. But so yeah, that's what the beast. All right, the beast is really the Esau system, and it's also this whole system, the beast system, the mark of the beast, the beast. All right, the beast is this system right here. Right, the 7 heads and the 10 horns. It's Edomites. All right, the Edomites rule. That's the beast. Okay, the beast system, and so, and you can see it talks about NATO and the EU, because really, it's NATO. It's referring to NATO, the form of government rule. All right, NATO. And it shows you right down here all the different countries that are part of NATO. I believe the newest one is actually Sweden on there. And the 10 horns represent the EU. All right, the European Union. So all those are eventually going to turn on the whore that you see on the top here. So now that I've shown you that photo, all right, and that's made by GMS. You can see the GMS icon down at the bottom. Uh, I'm not a part of GMS, all right, per se. I'm, just be considered an affiliate. I don't like to put that title on myself. That's what I would be considered, and that's who I learn from. That's who I watch. All right, that's who's got the truth. If you don't like it, then tough. All right, that's where you're gonna get the truth from. And Revelation 17:16 says, And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Who's the whore again? Revelation 17:1, the great whore. All right, the one that's, sitting on top of them all. That's Babylon the Great. All right. It says, These shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So what does this mean? all these so-called allies, all right, are eventually going to turn on America, and they're going to, bring war against it, right? You're going to have, once, and you got to think about it. If you had a homeboy and he got into beef with one person, you might throw some hands, right? Back in the day, of course, it's not something you do in the truth, but when he had, three guys, you're like, oh, damn, you got a lot of guys after you. Now, this motherfucker had 30 guys after him. Hey, bro, look, you're gonna have to buy a gun or something, like, cause look, and there's no way these 30 dudes they're gonna come down, they're gonna beat the shit, they're gonna beat the pulp out of us, man, if they don't end up killing us. All right, you're gonna need a goddamn Gatling gun to get all these guys off you. What the hell? So, anybody that doesn't separate initially, when they see that North Korea and China and Japan, because all those countries are eventually, once you have, you already had Russia that's against, all right, you have North Korea that's against, you have China that's against. That's some big powers over there, all right, and it's getting to the point where it's going to get to the point where Ukraine, all right, is going to get either overtaken or they're just going to bounce out on America because America isn't helping them anymore, all right. And then it's just, same thing with Palestine. All right. They're not getting as much help. Right. So, especially with uh, America being an Israeli state. So they're going to turn their head. All right. And, they're going to go on and join on with all the rest of the Middle East. Right. So they're going to do that. And then you're going to have, all these other Asian countries. Right, they're going to be joining on with them, all right? Japan, South Korea probably eventually because, they're already having issues with North Korea. They'll probably, so once you have all this and you have Germany that's seeing on issues, all that, all the other allies, they're eventually just going to be like, oh, fuck this. I'm not, No, because if I join up with these guys and I try to help these guys out, my ass is going to be nuked, right? And the only places that are going to be nuked, all right, as GMS has taught it, and the only two places that are going to be nuked, all right, is of course Babylon, so-called America, and Israel, right? Israel. So Israel's got to be wiped out as well. Those are only two places where nukes are going to hit. But yeah, man, you just got no one's going to want a part of that, right? Canada's not, and the Canada's they're already done. Right, they're already separated from. They were allies with America for a long time, but they've separated themselves. Nope, they're like, these guys are sick, man. We don't want that disease spreading to us. So they had to cut it off, man. They had to cut it off. And we're looking forward to it, man. We're looking forward to the end of the society. For we're waiting for righteousness. This is Second Peter 3:13. Uh, talking about doing better, but I'll start up from 11. It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, this is Second Peter 3 and 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversations and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, because that's what we're doing. We're hastening and waiting for it. This place fucking sucks. The only thing they got good here is video games, some food, and the video games, it's all about, they're fun to play, but all the video games are about killing people or killing something. And the food's good, but it's got poisons in it. All right. And then, and then TV. And the TV's got wicked concepts in it as well. So they get the time by, but there's better things out there, man. We're going to have things in the kingdom that blow these video games and TV shows out the park, man. It's, people, you ever have that thought? Oh, I don't know. I really like doing those things. What about in the kingdom? They're probably gonna have something way better, man. They're probably, who knows? We're gonna have entertainment. You never know. There could be some type of form of video game that's way more in depth. All right, we don't know what they're gonna have. All right, what's gonna be in the kingdom. All right, we just don't know. All right, we can't even fathom it. Really, it's like trying to explain a concert to someone who's never been. What it's like to actually be in a crowd of a concert. It's you can explain it, but unless you've been there, all right, and you've seen all the things there, you're not going to really explain it. But it's even harder than that because you can explain everything at a concert, the PA stacks. there's stuff that we don't, there's technologies that we don't even know about that are going to be in the kingdom. All right. We could probably teleport from, one side of the world to the other side of the world. Right. There's probably going to be like, different types of things. Who knows if, not things, if we don't have things like phones, we might have something like it. We might even just be able to telepathically commute with one another. All right. Here it is. We're trying to meet up with a, you know, uh, uh, we're trying to meet up with brother Yahweh, or what some brother's name, brother Manatazah, right? We're trying to meet up with him, and we're trying to meet up somewhere, all right, at the vineyard, right? Go get some wine or something. We might just be able to like think in our mind, hey, Manatazah, you there? And we're gonna be there in a minute. And you'd be like, yeah, I got you. And we'll just be able to telepathically communicate. You never know. Or we might have some type of technological device that's like all holographic. You just never know, man. We just don't know. We don't have all the secrets. Those things haven't been revealed because those aren't the things that are integral for us in this society now, right? So those aren't things that pertaineth unto salvation. So those aren't things that we really need to know now, because the things we need to know now is how to walk rightly. All right, knowing that they're gonna have super football in the kingdom or something. Not that they're gonna have that, but some type of sport, because I'm sure there will be sport because Jake loves sport. Um, that's not integral to our salvation. All right, but that's something we'll just find out when we're there. All right, and that's part of the excitement, really, is finding out what type of cool stuff there's going to be, uh, and just being at rest, man. It's going to be great. So, whew, oh, damn. Um, oh man, but that's we're gonna find out those things in time, right? So, continuing on in verse 12, it says, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens being on earth shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, um, gotcha. Thought I skipped something. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. So we're looking for a new heaven and a new earth where righteousness dwells within, because we ain't got it here, man. Everything here, there's no justice in the society. It's all wickedness. All right, and even the media is as fun as some of the video games or TV shows or books or um, movies or sports are. A lot of them are all rooted in wickedness, man. A lot of them are all rooted in wickedness or have wicked concepts that are in there. So it's just it's a bunch of bullshit. So we're looking forward to the society going down. All right, and a lot of people are they don't want to ever think about the society going down because of course Esau thinks. Let's get what Esau thinks. This is what they think. Psalms 10 and 6, it says, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Right? Uh, you can read it from 3 hearing about this. All these, there's a whole bunch of scriptures about this devil. Right? As you can see in verse 3, it says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. Right? And then, of course, you got to get 5, because 5 is great. His ways are always grievous. Means they're always bad. He doesn't do anything good. There's another scripture that talks about if he does good, he doeth it unwillingly, right? It says, thy judgments are far above out of his sight, as for all his enemies he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved. I shall never be in adversity. So I shall not be moved. Lord's never going to move me out of my place. I'm going to continue. He even said that, we shall rebuild the desolate places. And the Lord said, they shall build, but I shall throw down. Right? So here it is. The Lord's destroying their stuff. So, he can keep on destroying our stuff. We're going to keep on building. Right? Pride. Right? Another scripture about them, right? Right? The pride of the heart has deceived thee. Right? So, these devils, they don't ever think their society is going to go down. They don't ever think there's going to be any flaws with it. And they think they're just going to be able to keep on, continuing on, all right, forever and ever. And uh, they're sorely mistaken. You're just sorely mistaken. That ain't the way it goes, man. So, what else do I want to get? How long have we been going? 25 minutes. Probably finish up with these next two. Um, but yeah, man. So, ooh, these guys think there ain't nothing gonna happen to them ever, right? It's that pride, man. The pride of that heart hath deceived thee. All right, roughly paraphrasing. They don't think anything like this is ever gonna happen. Oh, that must be talking about somebody else. We're never gonna lose our allies. We're never gonna lose our allies. But man, it's coming at a time where you very well are. All right, you very well are. And we can't wait until this place gets destroyed. As a matter of fact, Psalms 137. Um, and 17. Excuse me, Slocky. Oh, what am I? What man? 17. I'm mixing Slocky. I'm mixing Jeremiah 3 and 17 up with Psalms 137. Yeah. So 8. Um, let's get from 7, right? Because these devils, oh boy, they have something coming to them. Psalms 137:7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom. Those Edomites, right? So-called white man, all right? Not every white-looking person's an Edomite, but a good chunk of them are. Psalms 137:7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. And raise, R-A-S-E, means burning, all right? Burning to the ground, right? So they said, raise it even to the foundation thereof. So what's going to happen to their society? It says, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. And so you wanted to burn it, burn it, burn it. So guess what's going to happen to Babylon? All right, burn it, burn it, burn it. All right, burn this place up. All right, this place has got to go. All right, there ain't nothing here but wickedness, man. There ain't nothing here but wickedness. And everything, the big things and the small things. There's wickedness in everything, man. Wickedness everywhere you go. Right, you go to find you can't find anything healthy, damn near. Right, since I've been on this diet, I have healthier things, but man, you gotta spend like quadruple the time in the aisles because you'll be like, oh, this looks healthy, and you'll look at it, and you'll be at a health food store, but there'll be like 34 grams of fucking organic cane sugar. It's still fucking cane sugar. That stuff's poison, man. Right? You can have coconut sugar. Coconut sugar is way better. It's low glycemic. Um, stevia, but stevia you can't hardly fucking get good stevia because they want to put xylitol in it, and xylitol is a synthetic chemical if I'm correct. All right, you can go look that up. Let's see. The food additive and sugar substitute. All right. Says it can promote better dental health. It's bad for you. It's not good. Xylitol safety is debated. While it offers benefits like reduced dental cavities and a minimal impact on blood sugar, it also has significant downsides, including potential digestive upside. It kills your gut microbiome. All right, it's not good for you to ingest that. Emerging research linked to high blood levels to increased risk of blood clots, heart attack, and stroke. It's also highly toxic to dogs and other pets. All right, so but xylitol is sweet. Stevia in its natural form, it's like as they say, it's like 20 times sweeter than sugar, but it's got a bitter aftertaste. Okay, and so because of that, they try to use xylitol or they try to put other things in it. So you want to look for stevia that doesn't have that. Really, a blend would be, I guess, monk fruit's a little bit better. You can usually find monk fruit by itself, but sometimes I guess they might be putting xylitol in that shit. But sometimes you'll find a blend of stevia and monk fruit. All right, stevia and monk fruit. But you can't even find that because they want to put xylitol in it at the goddamn health food store, right? So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And what is that? What is that reminding me of? Who is that? Is that fucking Ricky Ricardo? It's just ridiculous. It might be. Um, I think it was. I think it was with I Love Lucy. It's just so ridiculous. Let me see. Anyway, it's sad, but I'm not gonna look it up. But That'll be something to ponder. It'll get out of my head eventually. But it's just so ridiculous, right? It's just and Sprouts is a repeat offender. Real, if you can go someplace like Whole Foods or natural grocers, they're a little better because Sprouts has really been allowing really unhealthy shit. And I've seen stuff in there that started having artificial dyes and shit. Back in the day, if there was some type of red, it would say beet juice as a colorant, a food colorant. But now you'll just see like some other fucking random chemicals and shit. It's just like, man, this is ridiculous. And they'll do that shit. They'll be like, oh, it's healthy, and there's like 37 grams of fucking cane sugar in it. Ridiculous, ridiculous. And you can still you go to the health food store and you still see enriched wheats and enriched flours. That's not healthy if that's enriched. It's bleached and processed. How can you be at a health food store when you have fucking enriched shit? All right. Or another big culprit is that I go there and sometimes I like to get chips and because a lot of people think, oh, chips are unhealthy. They can be done healthy. There's a lot of things that you can eat as eaten healthy, and I eat wings and chips and even sodas. All right, but I do it in a healthy way. All right, and this world is just you say how the fuck can you have soda in a healthy way? Well, I'll show you. It's called Zevia. All right, and there's only a couple ingredients. All right. All right. There's only a couple on the can. Um, let's go to this one. All right. So you can get cola right there. Boom. You zoom in. Look, carbonated water, natural flavors. You got to watch out for natural flavors. Leaf extract, tartaric acid, caffeine, and citric acid. And not all of them have that. Matter of fact, I have one sitting over here right now. Let me grab it. It's not opened yet, but it's a creamy root beer, my personal favorite. And it's got carbonated water, natural flavors, stevia leaf extract, and citric acid. Now, you got to watch out about natural flavors because a lot of those are chemically, made in a lab. But if I believe Zevia natural flavor source are organic natural flavor. Um, Yeah. So yeah, artificial flavors. So you can see it. They're lemon oil, ginger extract, cherry essences, nutmeg, wintergreen. They're known for using plant-based, non-GMO ingredients, avoiding artificial sweeteners, colors, and flavors. Okay, so their natural flavors are derivative from fruit, spices, and herbs. So, but you gotta watch out because there's another one. There's another company called Hint Waters. I stopped drinking them because they're in plastic. Just because it's better to drink water out of a glass. But you can only do so much. You don't have to go too deep. But I just do it, and spend too much money on them. Spend way more money on these Zevias now. But these Zevias are pretty much harmless as much as you can get down to it. They the natural flavors are naturally delivered, from lemon or something like that, so that's healthy. Stevia is fine. All right, it's not glycemic at all. All right, it has no zero glycemic index, I believe. Um, Stevia is, they've found no issues with it. And one study way back in the day, they linked it to cancer or something like that. Because that's because they um, pumped a bunch of it. They'll be like, it's the same way they do with everything. They'll pump like, 1,000 gallons into a gorilla and they'll be like, oh, it died and this gorilla ended up getting cancer. They didn't test it on everything else. They're like, it could have got it for another reason. But no, they link it to that. Or, it got impure, some chemicals they used to process some chemicals to determine it. And then they found, oh, no, it's bad. But, they used chemicals in the determination process. So it could have been, it's all that stuff. But, they're just like they say that, too much of lemon or too much of or citrus, everything's harmful to Esau. Anything that's good for you. If they say anything's bad for you, it's probably good. If they say anything's good, it's probably bad, right? The opposites with Esau. So, uh, but yeah, man, that's you can go and eat all those things, but that's another reason we want out of the society. You can't hardly get anything, and then chips. That I was just about to talk about that. The chips fucking piss you off because you have to go and find you want to stay away from seed oil. So and Apostle Gabar got me on this kick, right? Watching his videos, and it's something you need to do because if not, you'll just feel sick all the time, right? I used to feel sick all the time, and I feel, I already got some health issues. And call all Yahweh Shemi Shai, the Lord's, healing me and helping me through it. Well, so Barak Yahweh Shemi Shai for that. But so yeah, sometimes I do still feel not great, but I feel way better than I used to. Right, all the time. You got the fucking itis all the time, shitting crazy. Have as they call them, the fucking Hershey squirts. Right, your gut's all fucked up. You got rot gut and bubble gut, and you're just like, oh, heartburn, and I don't, I don't. Thankfully, call you how about me, I don't deal with that as much. All right, ever since I've been on this, and I still have carbs. I'm low carb, not no carb, but I'm not keto or anything like that. But the low carbs, a bread recommendation would be getting a bread called Power Seed by Dave's Killer Bread. It's got no sugars added. All right, the only sugars in there from some natural fruit juice. Stay away from those added sugars unless they're naturally derivative, right? Like they added honey in, or they added maple syrup. Now you got to watch out for agave because agave is highly processed. I found that one out. So like agave syrup, it's better off. If you want some natural sweeteners, uh, top four, I would recommend um, stevia, monk fruit, honey. All right, organic honey and organic stevia too, if you can get it. Organic honey. I'll give you six actually. Because okay, so stevia, uh, maple syrup, honey, um, monk fruit. I guess it's not six, it's five. And then the fifth one would be coconut sugar, right? Because it's low glycemic, all right, and your glycemic index, and when you spike that, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of things that contribute a lot to a bunch of bullshit. So you just don't want to do it. It can be inflammatory. And then for breads, like I say, you really want to get a non-processed, if you can, a whole wheat bread. All right, if you're gonna eat bread, um, and make sure it's not enriched. All right, and a bunch of stuff like that. Make sure there's no sugars because they add a bunch of sugar, a bunch of cane sugar in the bread. It's just ridiculous. All right, the bread I eat is fine. It's called Power Seed, Dave's Killer Bread Power Seed. It's just fine. All right, you can get this French import. You can get it like Sprouts. You can get some jelly. And it's literally just mashed up fucking blueberries. All right, I get one that's blueberry because they're good. I like blueberries, one of my favorite fruits. And it's literally that's fucking ingredients pureed, and I think sometimes they have agar in it. All right, which is it's like a gelatin, but it's based off of fruit. All right, and that clumps it up, it makes it jelly like. Um, so you can do that, and then make sure if you're getting peanut butter, make sure you get an organic peanut butter that's got the oil at the top. All right, if it doesn't have oil at the top, then you need to put that back on the shelf. All right. So yeah, man, you can have that, and it's way better than what you're eating from day to day. We can't be perfect, all right. At the end of the day, everyone's diet's going to be a little bit different, but if you just start, I'd recommend cutting those sugars, cutting the processed foods, and cutting the fucking enriched flours, man. It's all enriched, which means it's bleached and it's processed. You don't want that shit. But so yeah, man, you can't even have the food. All right, can't have the food. All right, the music's all wicked. The shows are wickedness. You get a show, you're watching a show, and halfway through the show, some dudes, wanking some guy's, yanking some other guy's crank, trying to keep it Sabbath friendly as much as I can. But yanking some other guy's crank in the show. What the fuck is going on here, man? Why does this need to be in the show? To be fair, I don't even like straight sex scenes in a goddamn show. It's just weird. It's just all that Esau shit. They love marketing that weird sexual culture. Doesn't and here it is. I'm you can have it to be a show. They lay in bed. They say, "Oh, do you want to do it? Yeah, let's do it." And then they pull the covers over. They kiss a little bit or something like that, and then it fades back, and then they have their hair messed up. We understand what happened. All right, we don't need to hear the moaning and the sheets going and them grinding on each other. Look, man, it's uncomfortable. All right, nobody wants to see that shit. All right, am I watching a movie or am I watching a porno? All right, which one is it? It's ridiculous, man. Nobody wants to see that shit. All right, it'll be a normal show, and you'll hear moaning for like 5 minutes. I'm like, why does the sex scene have to be 5 fucking minutes? And me and my wife will be watching something, and we'll just fast forward it. Because what enjoyment are we gonna get out of watching that? It's okay. They had sex. Cool, got it. Next. All right, what else is going on in the show? it's Esau does that. They're into that shit, right? Esau is just a weirdo. They do weird shit. There'll be two animals having sex at the zoo, and they'll be like, "Look, they're fucking. Look at them. Here, pull out your phones and record them." Why the fuck do you want that shit on your phone, man? What do you what? Why do you want? Why do you want that gorilla playing with himself on your phone? What the fuck's going on, man? Why do you want that shit on your phone, weirdo? You fucking weirdo, right? So yeah, we're happy that this place is going to be rewarded. All right, in just like they did to us is going to be done to them. So um, really, as a matter of fact, we're probably at 40 minutes. Yeah, I guess we'll leave those for another time. But yeah, man. So we're happy this place is on its way out. We fucking can't stand this place. Um, you know, I'll grab a couple more scriptures. See what we got here. Pulling up my notes. Let's see. But yeah, man, we can't. This place is, sure. There's something we don't like anything about this place. I mean, nothing that matters. All right. Some of the, the scenery is nice, but that's, of course, most time made all that. All right. But no, most things here, you know, piss you off, or the entertainment devices. They're no. That's no reason to like living in a place. All right, because the video games are good. All right. That ain't shit here, man. That's what I do. I make my lessons. I do stuff related to the truth, and I play video games all day. All right, and people say, "Oh, that's kind of lazy." All right, shouldn't you do anything? What else? I'm gonna build up into society? No, I'm not gonna do any. I'm not. No, it's the Lord's work, and then the free time I have. I don't really watch a whole lot of shows. My wife will put on a show. She's more the show person far as I'm concerned, playing video games just the same as sitting around watching a fucking TV show all day. People watch TV shows for 4 or 5 hours a goddamn day. You play video games for 4 or 5 hours a day. Oh, you lazy. Sitting in the same goddamn chair. Only difference is I got a controller in my hands, right? Or a mouse. But that ain't no fucking reason to want to continue in a society. All right, that's it. That's it. You make your lessons. You watch. You do stuff related to the truth. Post your community posts. Look for stuff to make lessons on. And I play my games, and that's it. Because there ain't nothing fucking else in the society. There ain't nothing I really get enjoyment out of in this fucking place. All right, video games. All right, TV. That's it. That ain't no reason to fucking. That ain't no reason to live. You know. Think about. If it wasn't for this truth, the only reason I'd even be living is just to play video games and watch fucking TV because there ain't nothing else. There ain't nothing else here. The people are fucked up. They're fucking weird. All right, everyone's a homosexual nowadays. All right, they rob you. You got a bunch of elite fucking cabal fucking cannibalistic fucking homosexuals. All right, running around eating people and having sex with children. All right, and then saying, "Oh, the list was never around." And you got this fucking Ghislaine Maxwell, the fucking dumb cunt. She's not trying to live. She's not wanting to get fucking Epstein. So she says there was never an Epstein list. You're a fucking liar. All right, they released those motherfuckers. All right, she was on the news today. I was at work and I saw it pop up on the TV, and it said, Ghislaine Maxwell says there is no list. What do you mean there's no list? What happened to the list always being there? Everyone was talking about the list. Now there's just no list. The list just went away. It vanished overnight. Of course it did. All right, of course it did. You want to know why? Because Trump's on that fucking list. That's why he's on that motherfucking list. All right, several times. He was best friends with that motherfucker, right? And you go, it's just Trump. You need to lock Trump away. You need to lock them all away. Guess what? Hillary Clinton, she was on that fucking list. All right. Obama's on that fucking list. They're all on that fucking list. All right. You dumb Democrats and you dumb Republicans. Guess what? All your favorite fucking people are on that list. Tom Hanks is on that fucking list. Eminem's on that fucking list. All right. Hillary Clinton's on that fucking list. Who else is on that fucking list? A lot of people are on that fucking list, man. They're on that list, man. Um, Fucking everybody's on that goddamn list, right? Um, Fucking rock musicians. Uh, your favorite fucking Kevin Hart was on that fucking list. There's a lot of people who's on that list. You know who wasn't on that list? Dave Chappelle wasn't on that list. All right, and look at Dave Chappelle. He's got one of the lowest net worths out of all these comedians. Look, if you go and let's go and look at Kevin Hart. I might have said Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith too. Net worth. Kevin Hart net worth. All right, 450 million. All right. Now let's look at Kevin Smith. 25, right? For you, those of you wondering, Kevin Smith is he was Silent Bob, all right, and Jay and Silent Bob. He made a couple movies like Clerks, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, right? Mallrats. Was he? Did he make Mallrats? Yeah, he did make Mallrats. So yeah, um, he made a lot of good movies back in the day. Mallrats was one of his best. Um, yeah, Mallrats, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Clerks 2. Good movies, man. Good movies. I haven't really seen Dogma, but I know it's some weird shit. So, but yeah, but let's look at Dave Chappelle. 70 million. Huh. He's went up a little bit. Well, it used to be lower than that. But 70 million, right? So 70 million. Kevin Smith's lower underground though. Um, and he's not really too much of a comedian as he is a director. And he's only made a couple movies, but look at 70 million compared to 450 million. Like, among all the comedians, who's another comedian? Shit. There's people like Dion Cole, but he's probably around the same though. Yeah, only 10 million. He's not that popular. He's done stuff in movies and stuff, but the big popular Chris Rock, right? 60 million. Really? Only 60 million? Huh. Really? All right, I guess I was wrong. That's interesting. But yeah, Dave Chappelle ain't that they don't make him a saint. He's probably done something behind the scenes. We just don't know what it is. But he's definitely, the more money you got, the more shit they make you do. Right? The more shit they make you do. And Kevin Hart that's a fucking demon, bro. You can look in his eyes and see he's really, really dark. He's really on some shit. And almost be, 700 million to almost be a billionaire. Yeah, you have to do some things. You got to do some shit. All right. And he ain't that funny, right? He ain't that funny. Personally, I don't think he's that funny, right? And he just makes that thing. No, no. I'm like, bro, you ain't even that funny, bro. Like, but anyway, let's get a couple more. Let's get what do we want to get? I want to get a hardcore one. Um, deal with the destruction of Babylon. That's really where it's at. Um, let's get or were we just over there? Let me see. We were just over there. Revelation 18:5. What we let's see. Um, let's see if I can get one more. If not, this will be okay. Yeah, so this will be okay. I was looking. This should do it. We're actually going to skip from verse 1. This is what we're looking for, right? Revelation 18:1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened for his glory. This is talking about the destruction of Babylon, right? Verse 2, it says, And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. great. Love that scripture, right? As it is, in my YouTube name, all right? Babylon is fallen. Rev 18, right? Revelation 18. So in verse 3 it says, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath for fornication." And speaking of that, all nations are drunk. You say, oh, well, all the nations are essentially Babylonianized. All right, they're all Babylonianized, and even if they're not white nations, there's a term I like to say. I like to say Edomitified, right? Edomitified. They've been Edomitified, right? And which Edomitified really is Babylonianized. All right, Edomitified, right? And you see uh I don't remember if I started saying that or another brother. I could have picked it up from another brother. I'm not going to claim it. But Edomitified nation, like places like Iran and stuff, like their women start like you want to take their head coverings off and be like American women. All right, Edomitified, right? Babylonianized. So all nations, all right, every nation, all of them, all right, they've drank of that wine. And what is that wine? That Babylonian wine. All right, that the concepts, the uh, culture is what I want to say. The culture, the Babylonian culture of women being over men, and sex, drugs, and doing what you want, and freedom, and that's what they want. They want to be able to do what they want when they want to do it, right? And that's the type of shit that'll destroy you. All right, that is having too much freedom is a bad thing, right? So it says for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. You see these, as the brothers explained, you see these other guys, Arabs and Chinese and all these different people, small hatters that'll come here and create businesses here to get a whole bunch of money. All right, they'll so they can wax rich through the abundance of delicacies here, right? In verse 4, it says, and this is talking about Jake, all right, not to be what's the word? Not to be what's the word I'm looking for, man? Complacent, not to be complacent with this place, right? And down with the clown. So Revelation 18:4 says, and I heard another, and this is really talking about the elect, all right, for the elect. Um, And this is him pulling the elect up into those chariots because he's about to do something terrible to this place. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." His Lord's going to, oh my gosh, destroy this place with a fabulous destruction. Verse 5, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities." And verse 6 is, where the point for, which I got this scripture for in the first place. It says, "Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she has filled, filled to her double." What did she reward us with? The great whore, Babylon. What did she reward us with? Destruction, death, sickness, illness, affliction, right? That's all that they put out here. And really, that's punishment from the Lord. And the Lord's allowed us to be in this, but they still got to get paid back. Just because the Lord, commanded you to do these things, all right, and you didn't know you were being commanded, you thought you were being slick. Really, you're doing the Lord's bidding, all right, we're under the curses, man. That's why we're in this state. But you're still in the wrong for doing those things because you're evil. That's why he got you to do them, because you're evil. You're the evil man, the beast man, right? So all the things that you've done to us, all that wickedness and evil and hatred and torment, all those things are going to be returned unto you double, man. You get those things. As much as you did bad to us, you get to get those things double. Okay? Except it's going to be righteous. And we're not going to do the sick shit to you. So you're going to do some sick shit? We ain't going to do some sick shit to them. All right? You might consider it sick. All right, but we're not going to be touching on them, or not the men, right? Or, doing any shit with broomsticks or buck breaking or doing any homosexual shit. We ain't going to do none of that, right? Now, the prettier women, they are going to be taken as concubines, all right? But they're going to be few and far in between because most of those are going to be some dirt ass, fucking hobgoblin, my singing monster looking ass bitches out there on the field, right? With dirt and crust all over their face. All right, they have that white in the corners of their lip. you know, they have that white foam in the corner. Hey, bitch, wipe your lip. What the fuck? Why you got that white foam? You thirsty? Goddamn, put some chapstick on. They have eye boogers hanging out the corner of their eye. Look like they haven't washed their face. Bitch, you look nasty. Will you take me? Ugh, fuck no. Hell no. You're for the field. Right? Uh-uh. One out of every a million Edomite girls might look okay. Right? So, and they're gonna be trying to get those positions in the house, man. They're trying to get those positions in the house. They're gonna try them, right? Made a joke to my girl earlier, because I was watching a Elvin Natazatba lesson. It was his last live stream that he did just recently on his camp. He talked about they're going to try to be dressing up their women, their daughters, and because it's going to be honor for them to be with the Israelite men. They're going to try to get their daughter or something like that. Get to be with the Israelite man, and I said, they're probably gonna, I was playing because I was eating a sandwich and I had it playing out loud on my phone, and Streetzy just said something. He's a funny guy. He said some funny stuff. Elder Natazat down there in South Carolina, GMS South Carolina, page GMS South Carolina. Wait, go and subscribe to it. Great brother, as is all the brothers, but great brother. Um, he said something. My girl laughed. I can't remember what it was. I think he was like talking about like saying how they're gonna get all dressed up. He was reenacting something, and I was saying she made some comment. My girl was like, yeah, a lot of those girls are gonna look ugly too, and they're gonna, and I said, yeah, they're probably gonna, you know, uh, I said it's probably gonna be the opposite. They're gonna probably have these black dolls, right? And they're gonna probably look at their mom and be like, "Mom, why don't this doll look like me? I want a doll that looks like me that has straight hair. I want a doll that looks like me that has white skin, right?" And they're gonna probably. I made a joke. I said they're gonna have that. They're gonna have curling cream. Like that. How Jake has the relaxer. They're gonna have curling cream. They're gonna curl their hair. I said they ain't gonna have none of that. I told my girl, I made a joke. I said they're gonna be out in the field. They're gonna pick up some mud and rub it through their hair, try to twist it into some curls. Look at me, my lord. Ugh. I think that's what my girl said. I think she said, ugh. Yeah, they're trying to do all that, put that shit in their hair, try to make themselves, how right now Jake tried to make themselves look more like the white women. Well, that's what the white women in the kingdom, they're probably going to try to make themselves look more like Jake women, all right, because they're going to understand what the pinnacle of beauty is. They're going to understand what beauty is. The white men are going to understand that ain't no one more handsome than a Jake man. All right, the white. Did I say that right? The Edomite men, right? The so-called white man, the Edomite men, all right, and all the heathens, mostly the Edomite, prevalently, most prevalently, the Edomite man, because he's the proudest of them all, and he's gonna learn. He's gonna learn that hey, ain't no one better than the Jake man. All right, and then the women are gonna have to learn. That ain't no one. Bet of course, other than the Jake man, better than the Jake woman, right? So, better looking, all right, better at everything, all right, everything, man. They can even wipe their ass better than you, and you know, it's it's um, it's just one of those things that they're gonna, just like how Jake has, been brainwashed to think that because they're in power that they're on the top. No, these motherfuckers are on the bottom, all right. But these women, you know, uh, Jake man, they want to shave their fucking facial hair all down to look like the white man, like the Roman man, right? They want to cut their, have a shaved ass face, all right? They want to do all these different types of things and wear, these different types of button up shirts and try to look like Edomites and dress like Edomites and act like Edomites and get jobs like Edomites so they can have an Edomite lifestyle, all right, and date an Edomite woman, right? Meanwhile, the black woman, she's over here putting blue contacts in, right? Using that fucking relaxer, all right, dyeing her hair blonde or wearing a blonde wig, all right, doing ridiculous shit, man. And I just think it's funny. Because in the kingdom, the tides are going to be turned, and more than likely, these Edomites are going to be trying to, do things that make them look more like us, right? Now they got, Jake using skin bleaching cream. You never know. Some of these girls probably gonna be rubbing kaolin clay on their skin or something, letting it hard and trying to darken their skin or something. They're already gonna be outside spending enough in the sun. They'll probably try to rub some oil on their body so they can get even darker, right? Try to rub something in their hair so they can get curly hair, right? And so because they're they're going to want to look like what the standard of beauty is, and the standard of beauty is going to be based by the so-called black woman in the kingdom. Okay, because right now the standard of beauty is the white woman. Okay, not going to be like that in the kingdom. Everyone's going to know the so-called black woman. Well, I won't just say the so-called black woman. The so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American women are the best looking. Not no fucking filthy Elamite, not no filthy Edomite, not no filthy fucking Moabite. All right, none of them. Damn sure not no Edomite. All right, especially when they go back to their wood woo state. So yeah, man, they got to get paid back. They got to get rewarded for all the evil that they've done. They've done everything from hurting us, killing us, and brainwashing us. All these different types of things, man. So yeah, man. So this place has got to, again, Revelation 18:6, reward her even as she rewarded you. Okay, it says, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, filled to her double. So it's gonna be bad, man. It's gonna be bad. Um, yep. Um, Yeah, let's continue to 7. It says, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. So much, Slakia, so much torment and sorrow give her. Give her much torment and sorrow. For she saith in her heart, I said a queen. A queen really is a whore, prostitute. I said a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Pride there still. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, man. This society, it's on its way out. It's circling the tube. And yeah, man. Allies are, getting slowly, picked off one by one by, dumb things that the president does. And this place is on its way out, man. So and it's going to be a really bad destruction that happens to this place. So you don't want nothing. So you don't want nothing to do with it. So repent. All right. It's high time to wake out of sleep, Jake, as the scriptures say. All right, for their salvation, for our salvation is nearer than when we believe, as the scripture says, roughly paraphrasing. So repent while you still can, man. The society is going to be it's going to go out in a blaze, and I don't mean out in a blaze of glory. It's just going to go out in a blaze. All right, a blaze of shame, not a blaze of glory, a blaze of shame. So that's where I'm gonna close out. Slack you, little rambly. You know how I am when it's late night. I get a little rambly when I'm tired. So slack you for that. Lord was edifying nonetheless. Close out there. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to say shalom to brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Till next one, Lord willing. Shalom.